Hello, lords and ladies. Today we're going to talk about the Byzantine Empire, the eastern half of what was the once glorious Roman Empire. We're looking at a time period in AD times, meaning Anno Domini, Common Era, which is what we're in now, after the birth of Christ, AD 395 to 1453, so about 1,000 period where the Byzantine Empire reigned supreme. We have several objectives for the day. The objectives are, again, the things that you need to be able to do. What do you need to be able to explain? What do you need to be able to talk about? What do you need to be able to discuss and analyze? So what we're looking at today, you're going to have to be able to explain the role of the Byzantine Empire in preserving Greco-Roman traditions, meaning preserving Greek and Roman culture. You're going to have to be able to analyze the impact of geography, meaning how is the location of Constantinople making it a crossroads of Europe and Asia. So that is an important city for the Byzantine Empire, one that will affect history. And you're going to have to be able to evaluate, meaning make a judgment about the significance of Justinian's codes. Constantinople is the flagship city of the Byzantine Empire. It is the seat of this Eastern Roman Empire for 1,000 years, more than that. And it's going to be chosen as such partially because of its location. It is located on the Bosphorus Strait, which connects the Mediterranean Sea to the Black Sea. So really it allows you to control trade between Asia, Europe, and even to an extent Africa. So this location makes it a crossroads because people from all over the world will go through this region. Constantinople is a Christian empire in the beginning, by the way, and its location is going to not only help it control trade, which think about what trade brings you. Trade brings you a tremendous amount of wealth, but it's also going to Okay, the biggest leader that I want to speak to you about with the Byzantine Empire is the Emperor Justinian I. He's in power from 527 to 565 AD times again. He dreams of restoring what once was the glory of the Roman Empire, and in order to do this, he plans on using his military. He has one general that he absolutely favors. His name is Belisarius. In 533, he sends him to North Africa and gets him to try and take it back from the Vandals. The Vandals, again, remember a tribe we talked about, famous for their ability to destroy everything in their path, hence vandalism. And Belisarius does this within a few months. 2 years later, Belisarius attacks Rome and takes it away from the Ostrogoths. Remember we talked about those Germanic Gothic tribes that were in that region? But they don't keep Rome. Rome is going to change hands for 16 years, at least 6 times, so Rome is not going to stay in their empire. But Justinian is going to win just about all of what we today call Italy and most of what we call Spain. He ruled almost all the territory that Rome had ever ruled, and now he really is considered himself, a new Caesar. So the Byzantine emperors, like Justinian, do rule with complete and absolute power. Now, people are frustrated with him. Time you can pause it. Okay, Justinian's achievements. Now, him staying in power obviously allowed him to achieve much. He rebuilds Constantinople. He builds what's called the Hagia Sophia, and I'll show that to you, but it is a church, a Christian church initially, that is one of the most admired in the world. The crowning achievement for Justinian is Justinian's code. He took the Roman law code that was in place, the civil law code that Rome had, and he revised it. He changed it into the Corpus Juris Civilis, meaning the body of civil law, which is what most countries still move on. This is the Hagia Sophia. You can see that it is a beautiful structure, but you also should see that there are minarets surrounding it now, so that should tell you a little bit of something about here. Interior, take a look. Okay, again, more hints as to what has occurred. Originally a Christian church, it is now, and at varying points in history has been a mosque. Okay, Byzantine culture. After Justinian, you don't really have a whole lot of great leaders to speak of, but one that we'll mention is Heraclius. Heraclius replaces the Roman culture with the Greek culture. So now keep in mind, the Roman and the Greek cultures are very similar, but what you're going to see is that they start in the Byzantine Empire to really emphasize Greek language. Okay, in the Byzantine culture, Christianity is the significant religion, and most of life revolves around it. All of the art and architecture that is coming out of the Byzantine culture is pretty much based on religious themes. They use these mosaics. Art. Now, Christianity being such a huge portion of life is going to cause some issues in the Byzantine Empire. One of these issues involves the Christian church. In the 700s, art in churches is going to be a problem. There are people who feel that icons, which are paintings or sculptures of sacred figures, are not okay, that they are in fact violating the commandments of the faith. Thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain and all of that, and that they should not worship false idols. And that is what what this leads to is that the Byzantine Christians start to think of the Pope as not related to them. He is not the end-all be-all of Christianity for them. And so this is where you see a split in the church. It's called the schism. So what we have is two ideas here that are getting frustrating for the church members in the Christian church in the Byzantine Empire. They don't believe that the Pope has authority over them, and so they don't recognize him as leader of the church. And now, what's going to lead to the decline of this Byzantine Empire? What happens is, now Justinian's long dead. In 867, a Macedonian dynasty rules, and there is a golden age. But what you should understand is that Byzantine emperors rule with absolute power. They had not just the state, but the church as well. And so what they do quite often is appoint and dismiss bishops whenever they want. The politics of this, though, are very complicated. So what you're going to see is that emperors are constantly under the risk of being assassinated.